David Baye here from MuscularDevelopment.com. I'm down here in Florida for the 2013 NPC National Championships, hanging out with two of our top heavyweight competitors, Matt Burzacott and Tony Fredreich. Guys, neither of you are strangers to the national level stage. For the guys who aren't overly familiar, Matt, you got second at the USA's this last year, just missed getting your pro card. Tony, you've been a top 10 guy at the national level for a handful of years now. 8th place last year at nationals. I think you've been as high as 4th at the North Americans a few years ago. As far as game plans, we've talked to a lot of guys, what are you doing different, stuff like that. At this point in the game where you've both been around for a while, I'll start with you, Matt. Are you doing, I asked that question like with the pretense that everybody is doing something different. Are you doing anything different from the USA's? Obviously you come in looking the way you did, a very impressive look. Rafael Jaramillo was just ridiculous conditioning, went to Tampa a couple weeks later, placed 10th in his first pro show as against a really tough lineup. So, all that being said, did you make many changes or just trying to repeat what you did at the USA's?
A few minor changes. I'm probably going to keep drinking more water. I think I learned that I need to just keep it in the whole time. Other than that, though, as far as this last week goes, it's very similar to what I did for USA. So pretty much the same, just keeping water in the whole time. And
now, as far as your weight, you're going to be a heavyweight again, within a couple pounds. Any drastic changes in your weight?
No, I weighed in right at 225 today. And now I'm about 230, which I think for prejudging at the USA's I was about 228, so I should be right about the same.
Okay, yeah, and prejudging starts at 1 o'clock tomorrow, so, for the men's bodybuilding, obviously a little bit more time to fill out. You'll be on stage most certainly as a super heavyweight, which is a case for some guys who are, getting into that weight class just by a pound, or in your case, even less. Tony, as far as yourself, again, you've been as high as 4th place at some national shows. You've done very well at the USA's, working with George Farah for a while now. Obviously, every show you enter, you're looking to win or at least crack the top 5. Talk to us about some of the things that you've done different from last year's nationals. We haven't seen you on stage since, if I'm correct.
Basically what I did is I kind of went back to the way that I used to do things, George and I, in 2011. Last year I was unable to eat up at all going into these shows. Last year, the day of weigh-ins for nationals, I was 232 that morning, so I had to struggle to make the weight. North Americans last year, I had to do the same thing. This year my weight is down. We pulled me way down. I actually got down to 220, weighed in at 222, so I'm on my way back up. But basically I just pulled a lot harder because for me, the main thing is maintaining that fullness. It's never an issue of conditioning or being dry. It's always just the fullness. I'm not as genetically gifted as a lot of these guys, and I'm fighting a little bit of an uphill battle.
If you're placing 4th at the North Americans and top 10 at nationals, I think there's a lot of guys watching this video who are gonna. That's a backhanded comment that you're not genetically gifted.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a struggle, So we kind of came up with a different approach actually, So I'm able to eat more, keeping water in, eating a lot of wet carbs. Like I said, for me, I get dry quick. It's just I really tend to dry out really fast. So we're doing things quite a bit different this time, and hopefully it pays off.
Now, when you say you're keeping water in, are we talking you're keeping water in all the way through the show?
Yes, I've been drinking all day today, still doing wet carbs. 6 meals today I did wet carbs, and I just found out tomorrow we're going to do some more wet carbs. So obviously I'll pull back on my water now tomorrow. I won't be drinking. But I'm still getting a considerable amount of fluid from those wet carbs. Okay, so your fluid intake through water is cut back, but you're not just munching on dry oatmeal, is what you're saying. And that's an interesting thing that a lot of guys face going into a show is you're in the gym 2-3 weeks out, and I've been there, and you look great, and you're putting back 2 or 3 gallons of water, maybe not 3, but 2 gallons of water a day for a bigger guy. And the show comes up, and just from years and years of everything you've been told and learned, it's like, okay, cut water. That's what I do, and sometimes it's like just keep doing what you did in the gym, leading up to it. I think a lot of guys too. It's like once you lose that cellular pressure, once that's gone, it's like almost sometimes it's impossible to get it back. So it's like that yo-yo effect that guys do. They pull down maybe to make the weight. They'll cut their water and then they put it back in or whatever. We've all seen the crazy things that everybody does, but I think it's just a combination of finding out, what works for you at this level. It's a matter of who's on and who's off.
Yeah, I spoke with a couple of guys earlier, and for guys at this level, you think you're so big, you don't have to worry as much about coming in flat, and and guys that at the national level, when you talk to pros, you think of a pro coming in flat, they're so big anyhow that some people might not notice. They most certainly notice it, but when you come in flat at a show like this, you're going to look softer, and if you have troubles filling out and getting that pump backstage, that's that's tough. And for you guys who haven't jumped on stage yet or thinking about it, I think I speak for everybody that there's no more depressing feeling than being that. It's a worst feeling when you're backstage before a contest trying to pump up and you can't get one. And I think cutting water too much is is going to have that effect. When we talk about eating into a show, that was one of the things with USA winner that you went against, Rafael Jaramillo, had discussed, is that he was going to be close to that heavyweight line. And what he decided to do with his nutritionist Heinz Senior is they said, hey, we're going to actually pull down to 220 and fill into the show. Now it seems like, you might be sacrificing some size to get to 220, obviously, but at least he knew he was going to be full. So we hope that works out as far as you being able to eat into the show and come in full, like we know you can. You guys are friends. You guys are buddies. And how long have you guys been friends for?
We met at the 2010 Junior Nationals, actually. And what's funny is, I think I told him this story before, is he had a video come up on MD because he had won, what show did you win the week before?
Rochester.
The Rochester show, and he put up a video, and I was watching it, and I was like, man, I'm going to kick this guy's ass, And then we were getting spray tan at the same time, so we started talking, and
that'll create a bond, huh?
Yeah. We're both, yeah, exactly. We started talking, and then he ended up beating me. He got fourth, and I got fifth, and then we just stayed in touch after that. So, but yeah, we're a lot alike, so it works out.
Now, coming into the show, Tony, everybody's kind of got this "I'm training to win" mindset, and
I'm a realist, man. I'm here competing with the best guys in the country, and it's an honor to be here. Like I said before, you can laugh, but it's like guys like Matt that are so genetically gifted. I'm already fighting an uphill battle. A win for me, is just doing better than I did the last time on stage. So anything above eighth. George gets mad at me for saying that. Everybody gets mad at me for saying that. But, realistically, I think you've got to stay humble. Some of these guys are like, oh, kill it, win, take what's yours. It's like, you know what? All of us train extremely hard, and everybody puts in the work. And you know what? Whatever happens tomorrow happens. But if you're in the top 5, if you're in the top 15 here, really top 10, it's amazing. But for me, anything better than what I did in my previous outing is a win.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see, even from a competitor standpoint, it's nice to see two guys, you're going up against each other, and, I don't want to get, too nostalgic, but we always talk about, bodybuilding back in the day. These guys were supporting each other, and, if somebody placed ahead of you, it, kind of lit a fire under your butt. And it seems like nowadays you get a lot of guys who, online battles and people talking back and forth on forums and stuff, when we're really all in the same boat. We're all trying to do our best. Everybody's gunning for a win, even if they see, even if your goal is just, hey, I'm going to get on stage and place top 10, you still hope for a win. So, when you compete against a friend, that can be tough, but, to have the attitude that you guys have going in, where you're just going to do your best and support each other, that's, I think it's too cheesy, but that's cool to see in the sport. It's something that, has been lost from the old school days where, guys actually had some camaraderie. So nice to see a couple top level national guys here hanging out at the show and not at each other's throats or throwing backhanded comments on Facebook at each other. So, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna get wrapping up here. I know you guys got to both go get your spray tan on. More spray tan bonding time.
Yeah.
Do you guys sit and talk when you're in the tents next to each other? Or?
It doesn't get weird, right?
Well, no, yeah, we're not in. Well, actually,
it's like talking to if you're in the bathroom and it's like talking to somebody next to you. That might be a little personal talk.
This is bodybuilding. Some of the stuff we do is kind of quite.
Some of the rules that would apply to normal people go out the window.
About it, yeah.
All right, guys. We'll tell you what. Again, we're gonna let these guys get going. This is David Baye with Matt Burzacott and Tony Fredreich at the 2013 NPC Nationals for MuscularDevelopment.com. Best of luck tomorrow, guys.